Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode. I can't believe it, can you? Of what's the name of our podcast again? Oh, that's right, Midwestern Goodbye, the only podcast that accurately represents that moment when you're trying to get the fuck out of your friend's house, but then he says something ridiculous, like Obama could beat, I don't know, Jesus in a fist fight, and you have to stay there and defend Obama's honor. And as always, in this wonderful podcast, I am joined by two idiots. Mr. Professor Oob,
Hey there.
and the man whose name is hard to pronounce, Soverlas? Soverlas?
Close.
Soverlas?
That's close enough.
Fantastic. And I, of course, am your wonderful host, Darren Crosari. You may call me Cross. You may call me many other things, but one thing you can't call me is uninteresting. Now, gentlemen, how are you doing today?
All right. I'm alive. That'll do for now.
Fantastic. Love these energetic intros.
Have you guys ever ate shit on a bicycle? Just fucking hit the ground and fucked yourself up super hard?
100%.
Yep.
Because I was at work and I saw a kid eat shit in the parking lot, and that made me think of all the times I've eaten shit.
What was the kid doing?
He was just not paying attention and fucking hit a curb and just went boom right off onto the fucking pavement. It was funny.
My God.
It was so funny.
There's something wrong with you. There's something so goddamn wrong with you.
Man, it is funny when kids hurt themselves. He didn't die or anything, but it was still funny.
Oh, thank God, we built an establishing line. He didn't die.
Yeah, I wouldn't have laughed out loud if he died.
Somewhere in between there is another line probably, but right now it is eat shit, funny, die, not funny. So anywhere in between.
I didn't say dying wasn't funny. I just wouldn't laugh out loud.
Oh my God.
Well, either way, it made me think of when I got thrown off my bike when I was young, 10 or 11. I fucking ate shit in the middle of the street, fucking slammed down onto the ground, all the fucking skin on the top of I think it was my right knee just got ripped off.
Ooh.
And I was young and it hurt, so I was having trouble standing. And faithful as ever brother decides, I'll just ride the bike home and go get our mom instead of helping me out of the middle of the street.
I mean, if a car ran you over, it might have just fixed your knee.
I mean, a car almost ran me over, stopped, honked his horn, got mad, and then I had to drag myself and my bike onto the sidewalk.
What the fuck?
And I'm just yeah, I can totally manage this all on my own. I'm not literally bleeding a lot right now.
I mean, look, I don't know what you expect. If you're gonna stand in the middle of the street as a protest, I mean, you got to be ready to get hit by cars.
Man, I didn't even know what protests were at that time.
You were protesting the ground fucking up your knee.
I was protesting going to the hospital, and because I did not like the ER, and I liked it even less when I got there. Because there was a kid in the next area getting parts of his head stapled back together, and he was conscious, and he was screaming.
Do you think he fell off of his bike too?
Maybe, but it did not make me feel better, and I really wanted to go home. At that point in my life, my bravado wasn't there. I wasn't it's whatever, it's just pain. I was this is terrifying, get me out.
Well, I can't say I've ever eat shit that much. I mean, the worst for me was in middle school, I think. There was this one curb, along the sidewalk that I rode my bike up to the school. And I knew for a fact that it had a crack in it that, my tire would get stuck in and it would make my bike fall. Because it happened to me before. But for some reason, my dumbass brain was but this time it'll be different. So I went into that crack, my bike fell, I ate shit, scraped my knee up, and I was why do these things happen to good people?
Yeah, that sucks. Mine was pretty similar to that. It was probably about, middle school, 6th, 7th grade. I had a neighbor literally 2 houses over, and he was more into the BMX stuff than I was, and he had a few ramps that he would bring out on the street. And I live on a dead end, so we would have the entire street to ourselves for hours at a time, just going around doing whatever. And they kept convincing me to go off the ramp. I didn't want to. I wasn't confident in my abilities at all. But they finally wore me down. I said, yeah, sure, why not? So I go up the street, I start building up speed, go off the ramp, land just fine. Don't know what the hell happened after I landed because I was riding and then I just fell over and tore the shit out of my arm and leg.
Oh my god. All right, so this reminds me of a story about my aunt. All right, so there's this place I used to go to when I was younger, like me and like all my family, called Woodsmoke. Basically, like a trailer park slash like old people like resort. Basically, there was a lot like huge properties with trailers on them, old people everywhere, like pools and like fishing places and like stuff for like golfing and all that crap. We used to go there like all the time during the summer and everything. So we went there one year, me, all my cousins, and my aunt. We were literally like jumping like our bikes off of a ramp and shit. Not the best ramp, made out of fucking wood and 2x4s. So that was stupid. So she joins us. She goes off the ramp, busts her shit so bad, like literally right onto her ass, and it's got to be for like the next hour or so. I think it was my mom was like pulling like bits of gravel out of her ass because
Jeez.
Wow.
it was so funny too, but oh boy, was she stupid for doing that. Like, because
I'm
like
sensing a theme with your humor.
yeah, it was so funny though. Everyone was laughing. Mostly because we didn't think she would do it. She is, think my oldest aunt. So like, what was I, 10 at the time? So she had to be like 40.
Okay.
It's like for some reason I never thought my 40-year-old aunt would get on a bike and try to jump off a ramp.
Alcohol make you do crazy things, man, especially at a trailer park. Come on.
Yeah, you were right. I have to imagine she was drunk.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that would cause a 40-year-old woman who's probably never taken a bike off of a ramp to take a bike off of a ramp.
She was
I
also
don't.
very she was very kooky. She was the kooky aunt.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Midlife crisis, baby. That's the perfect time to take a bike off a ramp.
Typically, midlife crises involve buying things or going on trips or having an affair, not taking a, crappy little mongoose off of a dirt ramp or wood or whatever the heck the ramp was.
Can I get a playback from the stenographer? Yes, the location was in a trailer park. Thank you. I rest my case.
So, okay, when you said midlife crisis, that made me think of something funny. I mean, funny to me. It wasn't the midlife crisis because she died like 5 years later.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
sorry for laughing, but what a turn.
I know, it made me laugh, and I'm like, okay, I can't just keep that to myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So once
And if you don't
again,
mind me asking, what happened?
She had problems with her heart,
Oh,
and
okay.
it wasn't a heart attack. I think her heart just literally stopped working.
is that not?
Not
Wouldn't that
not
be
like a heart attack is when the cells like start to die and attack each other. That's like a heart attack. But I think her heart literally just stopped working. Like it stopped pumping.
Hmm.
Yeah, that just happens sometimes, just sudden heart failure.
Oh yeah, she did not have the greatest health her entire life, and she didn't have the greatest mental health either. So I imagine she didn't take care of herself all that well.
Can you name a single person in your family that doesn't fit that criteria?
Me, I take care of myself kind of well,
Fair.
and I assume
I'll give
there's
you.
other people, but I don't talk to my family, so I don't know.
I'll give you that one.
Technically, my cousin Jeff, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him in 10 years, so I don't know. He used to play baseball and was really good.
Like minor league, close to the majors. Did he just play at college ball?
The last time I talked to him, he was in high school.
Oh, okay.
He got college scouts, so I don't know beyond that.
Gotcha.
He was good enough where people thought he was good enough to go somewhere.
I
And
mean,
did he?
What?
Go on.
And did he?
I doubt it.
A happy ending.
Yeah. My family does not achieve greatness. That's not our thing. We kind of just like steal stuff from people. That's our thing.
Well, that's sad.
Hey, it's true. Oh my god, so many people in my family are just like actual criminals. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, I've probably not had this conversation with you a lot, but like at least 5 or 6 of my cousins have gone to jail for like actual robbery, like armed robbery in stores and stuff.
Jesus.
Jesus.
My cousin, whatever, cousin Bob, literally doesn't narrow it down and doesn't narrow it down in my family because there are so many Bobs. Either way, he went to
What a family. Jesus Christ.
he went to prison
Honestly.
for robbing a diner that his mom worked at.
Why?
Yep. And then when he got out of prison, they threw a party for him, and like a bunch of my family was going, and I just literally didn't go. I'm like, I'm not celebrating the criminal getting out of prison. Like, I can understand why you would do it, but it's stupid to me. But it's fine. He tried to get his life together after that, and
Did he?
kinda. He actually ended up moving out here with me. That happened a while ago while we were in high school. He ended up moving out to my old house with us. And then
Oh, that was him?
yeah, and then he killed himself in my garage.
Oh.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. A lot of my stories are gonna end up with my family members dying.
I don't like how this is going.
Hey,
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't realize which cousin this was until he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was getting his life together though. He was doing good. And then he didn't.
Unfortunately, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Who was I talking to? I was also talking to someone. It might have been one of you guys. I don't know who I was talking to about how crime scene cleaners don't do a good job. That's how I know because they didn't do a good job.
Can we talk about something happier?
My bad.
Your life should be a fucking movie. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if it'd be a good one, but it'd be a movie. Be a lot of jump cuts and flashbacks to terrible things.
I can promise you, it'd at least being nominated for an Oscar. They love that, melodrama shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The year is 2146. The Earth has been ravaged by computers because there aren't enough podcasts for them to listen to. Go figure. So, we're sending an agent back into the past in order to create a following, an uprising of podcasters. His name is Anchor.
And what does this courageous person that we're sending into the past, what can he do to stop this uprising?
Well, Anchor has the amazing ability to allow you to kind of create your own podcast, just kind of get some friends together, talk about stupid stuff, maybe do an ad read 3 times because everybody else doesn't know when their cue is. And best of all, it's free, just like my time, unfortunately.
It's free, but if it's free, how do I get a hold of Anchor?
That's simple. All you have to do is go to one of the designated rebellion meeting uprising places and download the Anchor app. Or you can also go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right. Where were we starting on? Riding bikes? Okay.
Yeah, that took a really dark turn, and I don't like that.
My bad.
Are you okay? You said your family's got all sorts of issues. Are you at least okay in this current moment in time? Do we need to worry about you?
I mean, is he okay? No. He has an ulcer that's trying to kill him. His knee's trying to kill him. His body's slowly deteriorating.
Yeah. Mentally, I'm here.
Okay.
He's here.
Okay.
That's something. I couldn't tell you whether or not it's good or bad, but I'm here.
His fucking psyche's doing a goddamn roll call, and it's like, sanity here.
Yeah. As long as he keeps saying here and no other words, we're good. Hey, it's fine. It's not like my family has, heart disease on both sides, cancer on both sides. My father died of cancer. My grandma had cancer all her life. My grandpa died of heart disease. I had another uncle that died of heart disease.
Yep,
It's
I
fine.
know that all too well. I have plenty of health issues on both sides of the family, so it's
Oh, yeah.
inevitable that something's gonna get me too.
My brother had a heart attack when he was 16. It's fine.
Jesus Christ!
He didn't have a heart attack. He got a virus that simulated a heart
Oh, yeah,
attack,
my
which
bad.
weakened his heart forever.
Yeah, so now he's prone to having heart attacks. Doesn't work out. Doesn't take the medicine he was prescribed. All that stuff.
Also, only eats fast food and only the worst types of fast food, usually deep fried.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. So how are your guys' families doing?
Well, I'm immortal.
Things are going good. You said
Yeah.
you're immortal?
Mm-hmm. I'll never die.
I
I've
don't
already
know.
lived through 3 dynasties. I'll live through 6 more.
Okay. Is your family immortal too, or are they just gonna die off?
No, I also have mind control powers, so I just trick a family into adopting me every once in a while. Just to keep things fresh.
Can you trick a new family into adopting me?
No. Sorry, there's a code or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Just some
Oh.
reason why I couldn't do that for you.
Oh, okay.
Are you human then, or what's the deal with that?
Depends. What makes you not a human anymore?
That's actually a good question. I don't
And we
know.
found our new topic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad you could join us on this journey. Now we're going to do a deep dive into what makes a human a human. Now,
I
I would like
mean,
to say that the first thing that disqualifies you from being a human is eating another person, in which case we may have to discuss my humanity.
Wait. Eating another person or consuming human flesh?
those are the
Well,
same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Yes, it is.
No, because I have consumed human flesh, just
ah,
not another person's.
Okay,
oh,
well,
I get it.
whenever you say consume a human's flesh, I'm fair. I'm making an assumption, but the reasonable assumption there is another human, not your own.
That's the only reason why I asked. I'm like, does that make me not human? Because
No,
I've eaten parts of. It would probably make you less than human cannibalism.
Which parts of yourself have you eaten?
I don't know. Flesh in your mouth,
Mhm.
fingernails probably at some point.
Hair,
Hey, just
Hair.
just checking. Just checking.
No, I've not like
semen.
literally eaten. Maybe I've never literally eaten parts of myself, but I'm just saying technically.
Well, at least we got that out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I've never eaten parts of myself. I've cut parts of myself off, but I've never eaten parts of myself.
I'm just going to assume the less crazy reasoning.
Sure. I don't know what that is, but sure.
Was it a kitchen
I,
mishap?
I mean, yeah, technically. I wasn't talking about that, but yeah, that's happened too.
Okay.
No, I mean, one of them was a skin tag that I had that I literally just cut off with a knife.
Mhm.
That's fair.
And then one was, I don't remember, something was in my foot, and I just took a knife and cut off part of the flesh to take out whatever it was. I think it was a piece of wood or something.
I've done that too with my hand.
Yeah, so I just cut off a decent chunk of the bottom of my foot and just took it out.
There's something deeply wrong with you, boy.
Hey, it's fine. The foot thing didn't faze me at all. The tiny little skin tag, that was annoying.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt that one. That one hurt.
Anyway, so what makes a human a human? Let's talk about that, shall we?
Doing the opposite of what I do probably makes you human.
That's a pretty good argument.
Yeah, I can't find any fault in that one.
But no, I mean seriously, like what immediately disqualifies you from getting, the human tag on your player card? When do you become an outsider for all those D&D fans out there?
When you can no longer or can't comprehend uh not life, but like your own mortality. Like if you literally can't comprehend mortality, you're not human. Because that's one of like the defining things of at least like sentience.
Yeah,
And
but
like,
sentience and humanity are entirely different. A lion can comprehend
I'm just like that
life.
defines a huge part of like human culture and like human existence is like our mortality and being fearful of death. I feel like if you don't have that, you're probably not human, or at least not
Yeah, but I
entirely
mean,
human.
but then again, would that mean that someone with a mental condition that, like, basically because they legitimately think that they're immortal, that they're no longer human?
I would say they're less human in the sense of like they're
You're
not.
picking a real interesting stance on this conversation.
I'm talking about humanity solely as in like the way you think and feel, no physicality.
So what you're saying is that anybody who has a serious mental condition that, like, changes their perception makes them less human?
They are less of what you say a human is, because like a psychopath is by all means technically human, but they are less human because they don't feel the things everyone else does.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's bad, it's just
So
not normal.
you're saying that emotions are what are defining humanity?
Yeah, kinda. Emotions play a
Mm,
big part in what makes a human human.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
I feel like understanding emotions is part of humanity, not just like emoting itself.
Mm, yeah, but I mean, like, under that, like, definition, I mean, like, psychopaths can understand emotion, they just don't feel them. That's why they're able to, you know, pretend to have them. So, I mean, if it's just understanding emotion, then no. I mean, your argument falls apart there.
I mean,
I'm just saying that's an aspect of it, not the end all be
they
all.
can't. I mean, do they?
Uh,
Do they understand emotion? Because they're
they understand that you are supposed to be happy when good things happen.
Well,
Do
no,
they
no. They
understand that you're
know what facial expressions to make. Or are we thinking a sociopath? Doesn't matter. They understand what physical characteristics to show, but they don't understand the mental of it. Like if you've never felt fear, you don't understand fear. You just know what you're
Mm,
physically supposed to look like. Because I can look
I mean,
scared and not be scared.
sure, but I mean, at the end of the day, realistically, I mean, like, even just showing fear is in itself an example of the effects of fear. I mean, showing fear is just simply a human body's, like, natural reaction to that event. So it doesn't really matter whether or not you feel it, because if your body responds in the same way, how is that not fear anymore?
I assume that they don't react and that it's all fake.
But again, even if they're faking it, I mean, as long as they're showing the physical reaction, I mean,
Yeah, but they still don't understand fear. They just they just know what they're just acting. They're being actors. They know what it looks like to be scared.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's just one of the things that I think would qualify as not human, just not being able to register emotions or feel or think the way that we do. Now,
Okay, but
clearly,
how do you define that? Because I know for a fact that a lot of people probably don't think and feel like I do.
well, no, I mean, I'm just saying very broadly, like, if you cannot
Okay,
feel emotions, that's not human. Like, think of like, what, I don't know what the fuck they're called. Are they Vulcans, the people who just either don't have emotions or.
yes, Vulcans.
Yeah, like, that's not human. Like, it would be weird to see a human, like, walking around who just has no emotions. Like,
Hmm.
that
But
would be.
those people exist.
No, no, I agree. I agree that exists and that's a thing that happens. I'm just saying that if I met someone or something that didn't display emotions, I'd probably be like, that's probably not human. Unless I was just like, oh, this is someone with a mental disorder or something.
I mean, sure, but I mean, like, you're also talking about the, just like whether it's psychopathy or sociopathy. But I mean, like, there's also just actual medical conditions like alexithymia, which is people who have An inability to identify and describe emotions experienced by oneself.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So you're telling me that those people are now less human because they have difficulty or an inability to identify emotions and express them?
I mean, technically, probably because I mean, like they are less than the standard human.
So then what you're also saying is that anybody who has a physical disability is also less than human.
Well, no, I'm only quantifying human as your mental. Physicals,
Uh,
regardless.
But physical is a very, very important
Oh,
aspect of being a human. So
oh
you
no,
can't discount that at all.
I agree.
so what you're telling me is that if there's a lion that can experience human ranges of emotion, that it is human because now
Yes.
physicality doesn't matter.
Yes. If a lion could give me the full spectrum and think and talk and feel like a human, that's a human with a lion's body.
Okay, but talking is physical. Talking is not a mental thing.
No,
Mhm.
like communicating, like being able to have communication, like that's a thing that your brain does.
Right,
But
but
that's an range
communication
of
is a physical
intelligence.
thing.
You can communicate non-verbally. I'm just saying, like, if it has the potential, like, if it can do that, that's human.
Mm,
I mean, lions do know how to stance themselves to, ward off other predators or,
No.
rival lions. But that doesn't make them anything close to a human. They're still just
No, but
an animal.
that's instinctual. They're not thinking about that. That is just something that they do. That's just like how like sea turtles just know to go to the water immediately after they're born. That's just something that evolution is hardwired into them. They don't think those actions through. That's just something that happens. Just like they know that that a lion, they're not just going to go attack a fucking elephant because they know if they get hurt, they won't be able to hunt and they'll starve to death. That's just instincts. They know that
So,
somehow.
question: when a human is in danger, or there's something that is terrifying to them, do they have to think about being afraid, or is that instinctual?
Fear is
Both.
absolutely an instinct for humans. They don't really have to think about it. If it's something that obviously is something to be fearful of, humans are instinctually afraid of it.
Well, yeah, instincts is a thing too, but I'd say both for humanity because like I can make myself scared by just thinking of things. That's not necessarily instinctual. I'm creating the situation myself.
I don't know. I feel like at that point you're just kind of mimicking the conditions of being afraid, and then just
I mean,
acting.
you're not wrong. Like, but see, that's another thing. Animals can't do that. That's not human. They can't. They can't mimic.
Okay.
They can't literally force conditions out of their body. We're at a point where we're like.
So now we need to go back to the psychopathy thing, which is, as you just admitted, it is a very human thing to be able to basically fake emotions, especially things like fear, which we just discussed. You previously said that
but
means that would make you less human.
Yeah, but that's not faking fear. You're creating the situation to make genuine fear. It's not faking fear.
I don't know if you can necessarily create genuine fear through pure willpower.
I think you can.
I mean, it depends. Are you generating fear for yourself or for another human being? Because that's where the distinction. If you're trying to generate just fear within yourself, yeah, that's kind of a stretch. But being genuinely intimidating and making someone else afraid of you, that's not necessarily hard to do.
Oh yeah, I mean that's easy. Like scaring people is not hard,
right?
But I think you can genuinely terrify yourself. I mean that's mostly how I get scared. It's just me thinking up situations that scare me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I've definitely done that as well.
Mostly because normal life just doesn't scare me. And oh god. But anyways, that's just one of the things that I think could is like the definition of human and not human and all that.
I don't know. I don't know if you convinced me on that one.
Oh, I wasn't trying to convince you. That was literally just the first thing I thought of.
Then you have failed. You have failed the assignment.
Oh yeah, I mean,
when did we get homework?
Right now.
When this podcast started.
I mean, yeah, it's like, oh god, like one of those things that I mean, your brain also kind of decides what is human and isn't human, at least physically, because there's that part of your brain that that is literally like a documented thing. If something looks human but isn't right, it makes you terrified of it.
Yeah, the uncanny valley.
Yeah, like which that is a weird thing that's a thing. I mean, I know why it's a thing. It's still weird.
Okay, so now we're going back to the physicality thing then.
Yeah.
So what physically is that defines a human?
You gotta ask your brain that.
Physically, that defines a human, a bipedal mammal that is able to verbally communicate and is hyper intelligent. That is just the definition of a physical human being.
So anybody in a wheelchair is no longer human.
Nope, they're still bipedal.
Their
Yeah.
body is built to be bipedal. They just have something preventing them from walking.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
if I cut off,
I mean,
the
you
trunk,
could make the argument that then if you just cut off, a dog's back legs and stick it on a chair, I mean,
it's not bipedal though.
It's not bipedal.
If you are biologically a bipedal primate or whatever, then plus the super intelligence and all that crap, then that
Okay.
would qualify as a human.
Okay, so then what about actual primates then?
They're not bipedal. They walk on fours.
No, even
No,
if
they have
some of them are bipedal.
Yeah, some of them have the definite capability to do either, but
Yeah, but
many of them are in fact bipedal.
No,
but they don't
can.
have the intellect that we do over centuries upon centuries of evolution. Our brains are just massive compared to theirs.
I mean, sure, but they've also shown the capability to use tools, to create tools, to use sign language. So, I mean, realistically,
they're
they're
on the
checking
way to
off.
essentially becoming humans, but they're not at that point yet.
Okay, so what exactly is preventing them?
Evolution, just more time.
I mean, probably they probably will be intelligent if they survive long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not that far off on the evolutionary chain from us.
Yeah, they're probably only a few million years behind us.
Yeah, they split off what did they say? Like a couple 100,000 years ago in Africa? Like not even that long ago. There were two separations of apes. One became humans and one became modern day apes. And the ones that were on the human side were the ones that had scarce food and were hunted by fucking predators, and they're like, well, we gotta learn to survive.
Yep.
And evolution's like, well, you gotta be smart or you're gonna die. Good old evolution. I mean, yeah. I mean, defining what a human is technically impossible. Like, you're either like outside of the scope of is that thing a human? Like biologically, it's basically impossible. Comes down to personal opinion at that point. Like my definition of what a human is or like could be is kind of like some sci-fi things. It's like a human is someone or something that has intelligent thought and thinks and acts either rationally or has emotions. Like that's what a human is. Human is just, to me, it's something that has intelligence. It's sentient, can communicate, can create, destroy, sadly. Like that could be human.
I feel like that's a bit too broad of a definition, though.
I'm just using human as like a higher, like as a word for higher intelligence, not as in like biologically human.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we go off of it, there are 9 other species of humans, if not more, because like there were 9 other species of humans that used to walk this earth, and they're all dead now, and we won.
And I mean, all humans is just a subset of apes. I mean, that's all we are. We're closely related to chimps and gorillas and orangutans.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shit. Theoretically, they could evolve to just become basically human, just like us.
They're on their way to.
Mm-hmm. It'll be. I mean, shit. They're already using. They already use tools in the wild, so like they're getting there.
I've seen a monkey shoot a gun.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, inevitably they will. They'll probably get smart. It all depends on evolution.
Yeah.
It all depends on whether or not the world gets shitty enough for them that they need more intelligence to survive. Because as it stands right now, they don't need it.
No, they don't. But I mean, that also brings up another thing that I just thought of. I mean, monkey see, monkey do exists for a reason. We interact so closely with, other
yeah.
kinds of apes that at some point they start taking on our mannerisms, our nonverbal communication, our body language, stuff like that.
we wanted,
That's how some of them learned how to use tools. I mean, we've taught monkeys sign language.
if we wanted monkeys or apes or whatever to literally be on the level of humans, we could just do it artificially.
Mhm.
Just be like, all right, these are the smart ones. Breed them together. Okay. And just keep doing that until inevitably evolution takes over. And it's like, oh, okay. So we're favoring intelligence over physical strength.
Right. Yeah.
And you just keep creating situations where it's like, only the smart ones are going to survive. You want food? You have to solve a puzzle to get to it. Can't solve the puzzle? You just starve to death.
I mean, that's just natural selection at that point, but it's being artificially done if humans get involved.
It would not be that difficult to do it. I mean, we do it with fucking dogs. Did it with dogs for hundreds of years.
Yep.
And instead of, I mean, we did intelligence in some cases, but we're just like, we're going to make sure that we get ones for very, very specific tasks.
Yep.
It's weird.
So, then it all comes back to the question. I am immortal. Am I human?
No, because part of humanity is mortality.
Yeah.
I don't think we discussed that.
That was the first thing I said.
Every human that has ever existed has died. Every human that will ever exist will die. That is just a fact of the matter.
How old are you? Because I'll tell
I
you whether or
can't.
not you're human.
Hold on.
You about to Google some stuff?
Gotta break out the calculator.
Nope.
I'm gonna guess you're 6 years old.
Oh, shit, yeah, you're still human then if you're only 6. I can't really debate nothing there. You literally haven't even lived yet.
At least in this lifespan, I'm 26 years old.
All right. Well, yeah, you're still human. I would say after your 500th year, less human, and then you become even less and less after that.
Okay, so then question then. If you had a human being who
Mhm.
reincarnated every single time they died, but they kept all of their memories, and they were the same person, just reborn again, are they human?
Are they keeping their memories through magic, or just keeping their memories as in their brain is retaining them?
Brain is retaining them, we'll say.
Okay, then same thing. Probably after 500 years, they're going to become less human because your brain can contain, I think it's about 500 years of memories, and then it starts to erase old things.
No. Because now what we're talking about is not what is human. We're talking about humanity. That is a completely different thing.
I mean, I say you would lose your humanity when you start viewing, just the people that you interact with on a daily basis all beneath yourself.
All I'm saying is inevitably you will forget what makes you you, and then you will just become an immortal who it's like, okay, I'm just in this world that I don't know or have no attachment to.
Yeah, and you don't give a shit about the other inhabitants that you share a space with.
Because you could be the god king of a country and they worship you, but you left for 500 years and you came back and they're still worshiping you, but you don't know that they exist anymore because you don't have those memories. So they're nothing to you. It's just like you're going to forget who and what you are over time. I feel like that makes you less human. I mean, almost akin.
I think we're arguing humanity, not human or non-human.
I'm absolutely arguing humanity.
I'm just arguing that the individual that is immortal over time will not be human. Not physically or biologically, mentally won't be human. Like, at least from what I've read, I've never read a thing where, like, someone is genuinely immortal, where they just don't end up being insane or become a monster or just don't care anymore about what it is to be a human.
Well, that clearly shows that you and I read very different things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was not arguing whether that immortal would still have his humanity. I was asking if that person would still be a human.
No, he's not
It
human.
fits all of the criteria that you had.
Now, if without your humanity, you're not human.
Right, it's part of the word. It is the root
No.
of the word.
Eh.
No, don't Amy. That is the dictionary definition of the root of a word.
Let's see.
Humanity is derived from human, and if you are not a human, you cannot have humanity.
Eh. Because now suddenly Dan's argument is no longer valid. Of if it is a thinking, feeling thing, then it is now human. We just had an argument that if a lion can speak, talk, and express emotions, that it is now human.
I didn't agree with
So
that. I don't know.
it-
I don't know where you were. I did not agree with that one
If a
bit.
lion has humanity, it's human.
okay, but now we're suddenly changing goalposts here. Now we're saying that, oh no, now humanity is the defining thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. If he can speak, talk, and feel like a human, he's human.
That's not humanity.
To me,
that
that
is-
is.
That is sapience, sentience, and the ability to express emotion.
Which are
That
all
is not.
aspects of humanity, but it's not humanity like as a whole.
I don't know if that's necessarily an aspect of humanity. That is just simply traits that humans exhibit.
Again, and I'm going to go back. The root of the word humanity is human. So attributes of a human are obviously going to be attributed to humanity as well as a whole.
I would argue that humanity is usually what people describe when you give selflessly, care about your fellow man. It's not necessarily being able to express emotion.
Humanity,
No, it absolutely
the human
is.
race, human beings collectively. So humans. So humanity is humans.
Right.
No,
So if
humanity is also the word that we use to describe the human race, correct? But humanity also has a different meaning, as in the.
here. Is that it? If what I'm reading is right, let me look at this before I bring this up. Because the first thing I saw when it's like similar to humanity, it's like mortals. Is it telling me immortals are not human?
Oh, great.
So
Forward to the internet.
definition two, humanness, benevolence.
Humanness, exactly.
Of all living human beings, often is in contrast to divine beings subject to death, all men are mortal. So that, I mean, by that meaning,
If we go to the Merriam-Webster, what does having some humanity mean? Compassionate, sympathetic, or generous behavior or disposition.
yeah, and I don't believe an immortal would have that.
No, absolutely not.
So they wouldn't be human.
I feel like now you are basically forcing traits on, actually a lack of traits, onto an immortal simply in order to better fit your preconceived notions about immortals.
Well, yeah, this
We
is
only
all
have
opinion.
preconceived notions. Immortals don't exist.
Yeah.
My question was not if the immortal loses his empathy, does he stop being human? My question was if a man is reincarnated and keeps his memories in between each reincarnation, is he still human? Stay on topic, boys.
Yeah,
You keep changing human and humanity, and that is muddying up all of the water of this discussion.
No,
I
he's
literally
not
am not.
I don't believe
I
he's
literally
human.
asked, is he a human? And then you guys started arguing that humanity is what defines a human. And then you started arguing that because he's immortal, he has lost his humanity.
Yeah.
Therefore, turning him into not a human. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I argued that wasn't my question. I didn't ask if he lost his humanity, would he stop being human? I asked if because of the fact that he is immortal, is he no longer human?
Basically, we're stating is the moment he doesn't have his humanity anymore, he's not human anymore.
And he's going to lose his humanity because he is immortal. We have gone round and round with that. I don't know what is going on now.
Inevitably, he will not be a human any longer.
I disagree. I don't think humanity necessarily necessitates a loss of humanity.
We'll have to make someone immortal and find out.
Just because you are immortal does not necessarily mean that you have to lose any and all connection with the human race. That also dictates that you would have to separate yourself from humanity in order to eventually lose any and all connections that you have to the human race. However, an immortal could simply be someone who interacts with humans on a regular basis, lives among them, and then simply moves on, after a certain number of years. Ergo, that pattern repeated over enough time means that an immortal could have lived all of this time for humanity and still retain his humanity simply because he interacts with humans.
Right, that's making a lot
Value.
of assumptions, though.
Oh, yes, of course. And the men who are telling me that he's immediately going to lose his humanity because he doesn't die like normal. Yes, there's no assumptions there.
We
dear
did not say
friends.
it was immediate. We said it was a very gradual thing. And based upon the media that is portrayed to us, which is our only frame of reference for what an immortal being could potentially even be, that is how it always goes.
A, generalization. B, I guarantee you could find media in which immortals do not automatically lose their humanity even after an extended period of time.
Okay, so extended is not automatically. Those are two very different words.
I just feel like if you are genuinely immortal, inevitably you will lose your humanity and you just wouldn't be human anymore. There's a reason why immortality is a curse, not a gift.
It's only a curse in some situations. In many cases, immortality can also be viewed as a gift.
I feel like I mean, you are correct that there are situations where immortality is a gift. I feel like giving a human being immortality is not a gift. It's a lot
Why?
different because I feel like it would, one, drive you insane, and you would lose your touch with reality and being human. Because humans are not meant to live forever.
Right.
That's at least the way I see it. Like,
I agree.
sure, there are a lot of representations in either mythology or comic books that there's an immortal who it's like they're still technically human. I mean, but I don't think that I think more often it would be a curse, like it is in the Bible or with vampires or shit like that.
Well, first off, I mean, vampires are quite literally a different species. I mean,
Well, yeah, it's a
clear.
human that was made into a monster for it via like gaining immortality and losing their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to drink humanity to stay alive, which is weird, but whatever. I'm just saying.
But my point is that we literally just said that there are representations of immortals which do not fall under this kind of stereotype that you've created of
Yes.
immortals. So again, being immortal does not necessitate that you are no longer human. In fact, I would argue that not being human anymore is more a choice than it is any kind of situation that, basically happens because you happen to be immortal. I would argue that someone who is immortal must choose to disconnect from humanity because they have decided that they no longer share enough traits for the effort to be worth it any longer.
That's definitely
However-
true. Sorry, go on.
However, I would also argue that in that same vein that they could actively acknowledge similarities and instead embrace their humanity even though they may be lacking one thing that humans typically, all share, which is mortality.
I'll give you this answer. Is an immortal human? Maybe. It depends. Because at the end of the day, if they started human, it's really up to them.
Interesting.
Because they could easily just go insane and lose connection to all reality and just not be human anymore.
Interesting.
It also depends on the kind of immortality. Because, like, if it's Greek immortality in the sense of, like, you're an immortal god now, you're literally not human anymore.
Right.
It really.
Well, yes, but now we're putting modifiers on immortality.
Yeah.
We're talking about divinity or
Yeah.
unholy.
Well, yeah,
what we're talking about is
immortality.
just talking about reincarnation
Well, I mean, the original was immortal,
or
man.
respawn, but
Wait,
Well, the original was just living literally forever.
is it reincarnation or respawn? Because reincarnation
initially it was never age. It was initially never age.
so
But then
eternal.
So
we
live
changed.
forever.
Yes, but then we changed it to also reincarnation, because one of your earlier ones was that, if you do not essentially, age and die, then that is something that makes you less human. So
No.
my argument was, if someone reincarnates but simply keeps their memories in between, are they human?
No. Maybe. Depends.
I mean, the only answer we're going to get out of this is it's entirely dependent upon the situation.
I mean, yeah, there's no real way to know. Just
Then
because
I've done my job as the devil's advocate, and I've muddied the waters quite sufficiently.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's maybe. The answer is always maybe for this topic. There's no way to know.
Right.
I know,
mean,
but
'cause,
I did change you guys from a definitive no to a maybe, so I'm going to take that W.
I suppose that's fair.
Sir, no W, because I chose this standing because I thought it would make for a good conversation.
Bitch, you can't be the devil's advocate. I'm already the devil's advocate.
I'm always the devil. Haven't you heard about my family?
Your family, that whole topic just made me sad, and then talking about immortality right after, what whiplash?
Well,
And that's the kind of quality content you get on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
boo. I have to make a phone call.
Well, I guess that's
guess-
the end of our podcast, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first episode of Midwestern Goodbye. Next week, we're going to talk about other random bullshit. Maybe I'll be the devil's advocate. Maybe someone else will be. Stay tuned and find out. Anyway, guys, I got to go. It's getting late. And you know what? I just got to end this Midwestern Goodbye. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.